Hello there and welcome to Inquiring Minds. My name is Doug, and if you watch my channel on Sundays, I do a feature called Pen Resurrection Sunday, where I take dead vintage fountain pens and bring them back to life. But I've recently met a man who does the same thing with classic fountain pen brands. Not just a pen here and there, but entire brands. Of course, I'm speaking of none other than the great Italian pen designer Nino Marino, the co-founder of Delta Fountain Pens. I recently had the honor of interviewing Nino on Joost Appelbaum's Appelbaum Bites podcast, which you can view by clicking right up here. During that interview, I asked Maestro Marino to explain the different personalities of the four brands that he now leads. He gave an excellent answer to that question, and you should watch it. The short version is that after Delta went away, Nino built both his own signature brand and the new brand Mayora. But he still mourned the loss of his original brand Delta, and has now resurrected the brand. Not content with that, he also revived the oldest brand of fountain pens in Italy, Nettuno. He's a busy man. And he surprised me by sending me the most iconic fountain pen of the Delta brand, one that he has reintroduced to the market, the Dolce Vita. So let's take a look at this gorgeous fountain pen right now. And I'm back from my world traveling. Well, not the world so much, but in Canada. And I got a notification while I was away that a special package had been delivered to me. And it was from Naples, Italy, from my good friend, my now good friend, Nino Marino of Mayora Pens. And he emailed me after I got a notification that it had been delivered and said, "Have you got the pen yet? Have you got the pen yet?" He's all excited. I thought that was terrific. I said, "Well, I'm away. I can't see it for another week or so." So I've been really anticipating coming home and finding a package in my home, and here it is. So it's a big package too. So let's do an unboxing here and open this up. And inside, I have found a box. It's not a Mayora, it's a Delta. My heart is in my throat. I'm just thrilled. A Delta. And there's a letter for me from Delta. Dear Douglas, it has been a great pleasure meeting you. All my best, Nino. Well, it was a great honor and privilege to meet you, sir. One of the great designers of modern fountain pens, Nino Marino. Delta, Italy, 1982 was when it was founded. And this slips off. And he's got the other brands on the back. Mayora, Delta, Nettuno, and Nino Marino, his own brand. Of course, the famous Delta Orange. Delta, 1982 on the inside. Oh, look. Delta knocked the Mont Blanc off its perch. Sorry, Mont Blanc. And more Delta stuff, handcrafted with heart in Italian and English since 1982. Some information about Delta. And here is the pen. We've got some Delta ink. And this is the classic. Get it out of its sleeve. And this is the classic pen that made Delta famous, with that orange crushed acrylic, black cap, black end finial. It's larger than I expected. Of course, I didn't expect this at all. I've never held one of these before. This is incredible. Oh, my heart's in my throat. Nino, you are so generous. Can't wait to ink this up and give it a review. And of course, it's got an ink window. Oh, the beautiful section. Oh my goodness, I love this already. I have to reserve my critical eye before I let my emotions get the better of me. This is an incredible Delta 14 karat gold medium nib, and see how the pen posts. Oh boy, genius pen designers really know things, don't they? Oh, I'm just overwhelmed. This is just stunning. Just stunning, folks. Okay, I can't wait to do the review on this pen, so I'll say goodbye for now, and I'm off to ink this up. I will show the parts and features of this pen, some size comparisons and measurements, and then provide a writing sample. And then I'll talk about what I like and what I don't like so much about this fountain pen. This is a big pen, folks. I'll do some size comparisons later, but let's put this up against a Montblanc 149. Here's my friend Jack's Montblanc 149, and as you can see, the DV2 is every much as big, if not slightly bigger. Now the nib of the DV2 is a number 6 size, so it certainly looks smaller than the Montblanc number 8. But the section on the DV2 is larger in girth and length. I've never owned or even held an original Dolce Vita, but it was the pen model that put Delta on the map worldwide. It is a very distinctive and unique fountain pen with a piano black acrylic cap, ornate cap band, and bright orange crushed ice acrylic barrel. And that barrel has a lot of really nice chatoyance and shimmer to it. It is just gorgeous. When Nino revived the Delta brand several months ago, he released the 39+1 anniversary fountain pen. I was lucky enough to borrow Murray's 39+1 anniversary Delta, and you can see that review by clicking right up here. With the reintroduction of the Delta Dolce Vita, Nino has made some changes to the original, hence the 2.0 moniker. Also, Delta no longer holds the rights to the name Dolce Vita, so he named it the DV instead. But he's fooling no one because this is a very famous pen. From what I've discovered, this 2.0 version of the Dolce Vita has evolved to having conical finials, a slightly different section, and no top medallion. Otherwise, they're very similar. The DV2 comes in two styles, Premium and Premier. The Premium has a 14-karat gold nib and is a piston filler, that's this one. And the Premier, which I see also called the original mid-size, has a steel nib and is a cartridge converter pen, and I think it's slightly smaller than this as well. The gold nib Premium piston filler retails for $548 US, and the steel cartridge converter Premier retails for $204 US. Delta is distributed by Jaffa brands, as are Mayara and Nettuno. From the top, we see a conical finial and then a gold-plated clip ring that holds the roller clip in place. The clip has a nice taper to it from wide to narrow, and the clip works very, very well indeed. It has a really nice spring, and that roller makes it as smooth as silk to get it in and out of your pocket. The piano black resin cap tapers up to a distinctive gold-plated 925 silver cap band that has a hand-carved relief using decorative motifs found in the excavations at Pompeii. You have to look very carefully, but on the back of the band there is a cartouche that has the silver hallmark stamp of 925. It's very small inside there, denoting the silver content. Surrounding this exquisite silver cap band are two bands of the orange crushed ice style acrylic that, to my eye at least, sets the band out in heart-stoppingly gorgeous fashion. Look at that. The back of the cap has Delta Italy, DV 2.0, Premier, and the number 0102, which is the pen's number. It's not a limited edition. And all of this text on the back of the cap is silk screened rather than engraved or laser etched. It's very, very finely done indeed. We haven't even got past the cap, and Nino's pride of design and workmanship is palpable here. The cap tapers up, and then there's a small rounded step down to the barrel, which begins with a gold-plated ring, and then the crushed ice style orange acrylic, which tapers down to another gold-plated ring that separates the blind cap from the barrel. The piano black turned acrylic blind cap has a matching conical finial, and it unscrews for access to the piston knob. This is a cool feature. Instead of turning the end knob to turn the piston, the cap hides the piston knob. It may seem counterintuitive, but you never run the risk of accidentally turning the piston knob when the pen is posted, like so many other piston filler designs do. The threads are gold plated, as is the piston knob, which has been given a fine texture for grip. Now I'm going to have to expel some ink to show you how that piston operates. So we're going to get rid of some black back into the Delta black bottle, and with the piston all the way back, you hear that ratcheting sound. That is a feature of this piston. It's not that your pen is broken. It does that so you do not over tighten this and possibly damage that piston mechanism. So that's a nice touch. If you hear that noise, it means your pen isn't broken, but it's working correctly. The cap unscrews with one rotation, that's awesome, and reveals a large clear ink window, smooth cap threads, and a very large barrel-shaped section that has a small flare towards a Jowo number 6 size 14 karat gold nib and black plastic feed. The section is not only thick at almost 13 millimeters, it's long, quite a bit longer than the Mont Blanc 149. I immediately fell in love with it.
Isn't he the cutest thing? He has the nicest sense of humor,
as you could probably tell from the unboxing video. And let's get a closer look at this nib. It has the Jowo swoop, 14K585 and an M for a medium stamped into it. And then it has the Delta logo and Delta laser engraved. These laser engravings are sometimes burned so deep that ink leaches up through it. I had that happen on a Leonardo as well. But as you can see, if I place that tissue on top of that etching, the ink leaches up through it. It doesn't seem to leak into the cap or anything like that, just colors the logo the color of the ink. The nib and feed aren't part of a nib assembly, but are friction fit in the section. And the section does not unscrew, so cleaning the pen will be the tedious process of turning the piston back and forth in water until it runs clear. The inside of the cap shows a cap liner that seals the nib from evaporation. The cap posts deeply and securely, and although it does make the pen long, it doesn't significantly unbalance the pen. Unposted, the pen is plenty long enough to write with and sits beautifully in my hand. And it's been in my hand almost since the moment I got it, because I just can't seem to put it down. Both the Premium and Premier Gold and Steel versions are available with 7 nib sizes, EF, F, M, B, stub, and an extra fine flex and a fine flex option. Both versions of the DV2 are available in either gold or silver trim and as ballpoints or roller balls. Now let's look at some size comparisons. And here is the Delta DV 2.0 Premium with a Mont Blanc 149, a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande in rosewood ebonite, an Opus 88 Bella Japanese eyedropper. That means it's a Japanese eyedropper style pen, not that it's made in Japan. It's made in Taiwan, actually. And a puny Pilot Metropolitan 4 scale. Now let's look at them posted. And here they are posted. You can see how much longer the section is on the Dolce Vita 2 than the Mont Blanc 149. And it's easily the biggest section of all the pens here. The Delta is a 14 karat gold nib. The Mont Blanc is a number 8 size 18 karat gold rose gold nib. And the Leonardo is a 14 karat gold La Fenice nib. And these two are steel, of course. Now let's look at them unposted. And here they are unposted. Now let's look at some measurements, and I'll be back with a writing sample. And we're back with the writing portion of the review. This is Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper, and this is the Delta DV 2.0 Premium, and it has a 14 karat gold number 6 size Jowo nib. Let's check the wetness. It's decently wet and as smooth and glides like butter. Beautiful. And the ink is what came with the pen, Delta Black. And as I've said, I've been writing with this pen since the moment I received it, and I can't seem to put it down. That's the line variation There's a significant amount of bounce to this nib. It's not a flex by any stretch, but you can get some nice, whoops, railroading on me. You can get some nice bounce out of it. Again, it's not a flex, but let's close up on this and show the bounce on that 14 karat gold nib. It's like a shock absorber to your writing, which makes it an even smoother and more comfortable writing experience. The line this nib makes is 0.6 millimeter, 0.6 millimeters, which makes it a Western medium, of course, because it is a German nib, or a Japanese medium to broad on my Richard Binder line width chart, which you can find linked in the description below. And for our quote: and for some reverse writing, it's a bit scratchier and very dry and thin. And for some quick writing, no issues whatsoever. So what do I like and what do I not like about this fountain pen? Well, what's to like? I mean, super smooth, bouncy 14 karat gold nib, 1.5 milliliter ink capacity, the thick and comfortable section, a stunningly gorgeous gold-plated 925 hand-carved silver cap band, yeah, and the iconic look of a classic fountain pen that is instantly recognizable. I mean, if a beautifully designed, handcrafted, luxurious writing experience floats your boat, if that's your criteria, then, well, yes, this is a stunning fountain pen. If you have other criteria, I don't want to hear it because you're just wrong.
Get out!
My heart leapt into my throat when I held it for the first time, and it has stayed there as I've not been able to put it down, and I'm already refilling it. Well, yes, I emptied it for the demonstration, but that's beside the point. And yes, the gold nib version is pricey, but it's a full $350 less than a new Mont Blanc 149. And you can get the mid-sized steel nibbed version for around $230. There are a couple of observations I've made about the pen that I should mention. First, and this is just an aesthetic thing, I think for the size of the pen and the section, that number 6 size nib just looks visually a bit small. I know putting a number 8 size gold nib in this pen would jack the price up though. But I would have liked it if the Jowo nib unit was the unscrewable type. That would make it much easier to clean just by unscrewing the nib unit and being able to get a blunt end syringe down the top of that piston to shoot water into the ink chamber. That's a much quicker and more efficient method of cleaning a piston filler. And there you have it. Thanks go out to Nino Marino for providing this extraordinary work of art fountain pen for review, and for your humble servant to keep and write with. And no, I'm not giving it away, ever.
What's that? This is mine.
I will treasure it as a special gift from a great man. And for those of you who are right now thinking that being gifted this pen by Nino has colored my opinion of this pen in any way, I can only say, hell yeah, it did. I love it more. What, you crazy? Jeez.
Are you crazy?
So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. You can join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month, and I guarantee I'll answer your comments in the comment section, and you'll get cool emojis, badges, and sneak peek unboxing videos as well. And that just leaves it for me to say, thank you. For watching, and that's all she wrote.
I made this.